Dennis Horton, and I am the proprietor of Horton Vineyards in Gordonsville, Virginia. Getting back into the game or into the business in Virginia was kind of tough because A, California had come online, B, a lot of the vineyards had been devastated in this whole area. A, during the Civil War and prior, and during Prohibition, it was just, the wine industry was non-existent. It was shut down, what was left of the industry. There were some wineries that did get started back in the 70s, but I don't think it really flourished till they changed some of the laws in the 80s that enacted the Farm Winery Act and so forth and so on to actually take it out of the commercial setting and put it into the agricultural setting. That seemed to spur a lot of Virginia wineries. Plus there was a lot of technological changes that had transpired from the time they had really shut down the Virginia wine industry to the resurgence, in that new spray programs were adapted, grafting had been taken care of, and a lot of other things where it was possible to grow Vitis vinifera in the state of Virginia. And I think that was actually the big surge that was done for a period of time. In the beginning, I think a lot of people looked at the market and said, what are people buying? And they figured that since that encompassed, let's say, 65 or 75% of the wine market, these are the grapes that will grow, which was like Cabernet, Pinot Noir, Riesling, Cabernet Sauvignon, and so forth. So rather than look at what could be growing extremely successful, they were looking at the market and what do the people buy. And that's what they planted and that's what they grew. There's been a transition in the state of Virginia now. They're looking more toward the vineyard and what can we grow extremely successful to have a nationally and internationally competitive product. Then what percentage of the market is that? When I planted, I was one of the first in the area or in that time frame to start planting Viognier and to plant other grapes that had not been planted, but I felt were more suitable for grape growing area as Virginia was, with the hot, the humidity, and so forth and so on. And some of them proved to be successful. It's not that everything I put in the ground did what it was supposed to do. Some of them didn't. But Viognier was one, Tonnat's another one, Petit Mansing's another one, and recently I've introduced Pinotage, which is a South African grape, to the area, which is, I think, going to be very successful. So there's been a huge transition from 70s to the 80s to the 90s to the 2000s, and the grape varieties that are very successful or reasonably successful right now are varieties of people that have made the change with varieties.